How does a moving ball get onto a swinging bat? Am I deliberately working on improving my hitting perception? Evaluate your hitting priorities. Every time you take batting practice, this should be on your mind. What are the two weapons a pitcher has to get me out? Number one, mess up my timing. Number two, mess up my spatial awareness. And both of these can be clustered into the box that we call hitting perception. Hitting perception is not easy to teach. If it was, everyone would be doing it. Hitting perception is not easy to measure. If it was, everyone would be doing it. Here's my recipe for the batting cage and training high-level hitters. Number one, hitting perception. Number two, hitting tempo / hitting timing. Number three, hitting model, hitting style. Number four, swing deceleration patterns. And number five, swing mechanics. Number one, we are working on his technique of coming off the pitcher. Number two, what is the best deceleration pattern that's going to naturally fit his athletic disposition. When you're helping the hitter to understand, how do I come off the pitcher? The hitter has to understand this simple concept. Where do my eyes go next? It helps the hitter to understand that you as a hitter need to plan, you need to prepare, you need to expect where your eyes are going to find the ball in a flight path. See, these ideas are held inside the folder that's called hitting perception. I'm standing at home plate with a bat in my hands. I don't know where to swing the bat until I find the ball. Finding the ball is the biggest priority to hitting. Max is well schooled in our concepts and elements, especially the ones that deal with hitting perception. Max knows how to use the pitcher's common denominator that helps him to get a head start to the flight path of the ball. Right now you're watching a conversation between Max and I. Max is explaining to me a concept we taught him years back of how to speed read the ball. It's a real, genuine speed reading technique that a person can actually use when they're reading books. It helps them to read faster. This concept is fully explained in our 6.0 online hitting course. The biggest concept Max and I invested our time into was to get a head start on the flight path of the ball. This is a very delicate concept. For me, it's the most powerful concept there is to hitting. Okay, as a hitter, you're standing at home plate. You have a bat in your hands, but you don't know where to swing this bat until you find the ball. But you're not done yet. Once you find a ball, you have to answer. You have to reply to what you see. What I'm explaining to you are the deeper layers of what we call hitting perception. One of the first fundamental truths, what I teach hitters about hitting perception is this. There is a question, there is an answer. The question is as if though the ball is speaking to you as a hitter, and the ball says, where am I going? You, as a hitter, you configure, you format, you process, you arrange, you calibrate the space the ball is going to move into when you hit it and the rate of speed that it takes to get into that space. There's a question and an answer. The question is, where's the ball going? The answer is right here. You as a hitter, every single time the ball is pitched, are required to answer this question. But too many players, too many coaches just tell us you can't think and hit at the same time. The truth is, you must think. You are required to think. You are required to process. Because the thinking happens in bursts, you don't realize that you're quickly processing a ball. And this is where our culture makes the biggest mistakes. We just assume if you have perfect swing mechanics, the ball will just land on the bat. And our hitting culture continues making mistakes, which always try to correct the hitting problem through swing mechanics. The deeper side of hitting, the deeper layers of hitting are held in the folder, the realms of what we call hitting perception. When a player is constantly misjudging the ball, we always assume fix the mechanics. Look, stop messing around with the symptoms and fix the real problem. It's your hitting perception.
Your brain tells you to swing. You knew you were going to make contact. And then you swing and miss, and your brain goes, why'd you miss?
If we think about the process of visual perception, what you're really doing is looking at the positions of the ball and making a best guess all the time about where it's likely to be. What you're really doing is looking at the positions of the ball and making a best guess all the time about where it's likely to be.
Our brain does a really good job of filling in gaps. in that case where the ball is faster than your eye movements, the batter fails to reacquire the visual image of the ball. The batter fails to reacquire the visual image of the ball, and the ball is now sort of beyond the point where he thought it was. Look to a particular spot and expect the ball to be there, and the ball's not there. Now there's almost an error message that occurs, and there has to be a new telling of the story.
Here's the good news, and I'm going to end with this. No one's going to be an elite hitter unless they have elite hitting perception skills. And when you know how to generate, when you know how to activate perception skills, it becomes teachable. I'm Dave Kirilloff with thelanguageofhitting.com and a Kirilloff Baseball School in Anna, Texas. Your player is worth it. Start today, get our online hitting course, and learn about hitting perception. Invite me to come to your hometown to work with your son or daughter face to face, or come visit us at our home facility in Anna, Texas. And one more thing. Consider this. Change your mind. Follow Jesus Christ because he's been knocking and waiting to come live with you.